Rollins, the local policy manager at the Massachusetts Association of Realtors, and I'm here today with Brendan Bailey, the Chief Executive Officer of the Realtor Association of Pioneer Valley. Brendan, thanks for taking the time to talk with me about some of the local issues we've been working on since I came on board last year.
Thank you. Always happy to talk.
You know, one of the reasons I love working on policy at the local level is that there's so many things going on in each and every community across the state that can impact realtors, and therefore so many different opportunities to engage.
Yeah, here in the Pioneer Valley, we have 68 municipalities throughout our three counties of Hampden, Hampshire, and Franklin County. So there's a ton of issues that we have to be working on, and we have a very active government affairs committee, and it's been great to have MAR as part of that process as well. We've been working on things like short-term rentals, accessory dwelling units, rental agencies, low-impact housing, and vacant building registries, just to name a few. Lots on our plate.
That is definitely a lot going on. One of the things that I like to try and do with all of these issues is to find opportunities to remind communities proactively that realtors are a partner and a resource on a number of issues related to housing, like the letter that we did with Amherst last month.
Yeah, so the town of Amherst for the last couple of months, I guess it's technically city of Amherst, has been working on looking at changing some of their zoning to allow for greater density, as well as look at issues with affordable housing. So yeah, in partnership with MAR, we sent a letter and have been engaging in conversations to be a part of that. We want to be a resource for them and help in their efforts to get this accomplished.
That's great. For one thing, I think it reminds town officials and city officials that we're a constituency as realtors and that the policies that they put in place will impact our members and our industry. It also allows us to share input that could strengthen the policies that they are putting in place. And certainly this benefits everyone as we're helping to shape the places that people want to live.
Oh, 100%. I mean, our members are on the front line every day. And the way that we want to do things is we want to lead with education. So the more that we're able to, explain the stories in real people and there's, housing shortages, what's going on with the market, how it affects their constituency directly, it allows us to inform the local officials in a meaningful way and help start that narrative of how we as realtors can be involved. There is no National Association of Homeowners. There's just the realtors that fight for the advocacy, the property rights of not just our industry, but also the constituents that make up the various towns and villages.
That's a really good point. I spent 10 years working in local government myself, and I can tell you from that experience that policymakers do want to hear from residents and businesses in their communities when they're going through the process of coming up with new bylaws or ordinances. If they don't hear any feedback, they will assume that what they're doing is fine with the community. That's one of the reasons I always encourage our members to share their experiences and their insights, to get involved, and even if it's just to ask questions or to learn more about local policies and proposals. Sometimes it's even important just to show support for a policy that's already in place. Like I know the one you dealt with, accessory dwelling units, the citizens petition in Greenfield.
Yeah, so Greenfield in the middle of last year passed some zoning changes that would allow for accessory dwelling units, which was great for that community that needs more housing stock and housing just availability for people in general. So that passed, and then there was a petition that came out from citizens, and then major parts that got reversed because of it. So, it's one of those things where, again, we worked with MAR to get involved with this issue, to talk about what are some of the things that are going on and how to be part of that process. It's always super important for us to be part of that process through the beginning as much as possible. So we have testified in front of the city council looking at the issue of ADU by right. And then the nice part is that the council ultimately agreed and the opponents weren't successful. So, we started one way, then they were making the change and we got them to work it back. So at the end of the day, it was a nice success story for us.
That's fantastic, and congratulations on that success. I think that's a great example of how our members have such a big role in helping us to know what's going on at any time in each community. Through news coverage in the local paper or through learning about local policies through their social and professional networks. Realtors are so well positioned to hear about policies that could impact their business. And when they do, I'm always here to help flesh out what the proposal would mean or how we might want to move forward with our advocacy. Whether that be a phone call, a meeting, a letter, or testimony like you did with the Greenfield example.
Yeah, no, Catherine, we can't thank you specifically and MAR enough. I know we're going to have a ton of stuff to continue to work on. So we're just excited, and our members are for the upcoming year.
Well, thank you very much, Brendan. I'm looking forward to it too.